haunting everything. And I hate to say it, but I've seen very little physical picture evidence. And we'll start here with some kind of history of spirit photography. And in 1861, the first person supposedly photographed spirits was a man named W. Campbell. And he was in a studio, and this isn't him actually, but he was in a studio taking kind of his blank portrait, testing on his camera, and supposedly the spirit of his deceased niece had shown up in it. And unfortunately, that picture was never duplicated or even, it's kind of destroyed at this point. But 1 year later, in 1862, this man, William Mumbler, is kind of born for photography. And, he had thrived on it for many, many, many years. And taking these portraits, this is Mary Todd Lincoln, wife of Abraham Lincoln, with the spirit, supposedly, of that. And I know you guys might be looking, it seems pretty obvious, devil exposures, but this photography is still really a mysterious thing. It's been around for maybe 50 years. People don't know if they're, just seeing images, like it's even sacrilegious to be photographed. And, there's a famous paper from Leipzig, Germany, that talks about being the invention of the devil to be photographed at all. So, kind of goes on. But it's definitely, everything that he started, is a whole thing we're all doing, our photography. And now, I kind of want to talk about the most contentious part of everything, forms. And, fortunately, I don't believe they're paranormal at all. I think they're just camera anomalies, or gut bugs, dust, lint, pollen, moisture, everything, rain. And, this is kind of a common picture we get, people say that it's haunted all over, whatever. But you can just see some of these natural things, light coming here, lens reflecting, and just really lens flares are what you see. And here's another example of this. And there are really fun to find, kind of when you're creeping around in the dark, you see on the back of your camera, super interesting. And you've got one up there on the left. But as you can see, someone who's supposedly in a graveyard and stomping around and just amazed that all these ghosts and spirits are flying. But of course, it's just the dirt and falling and sand and everything's coming up and flying. Excuse me? Yeah. And, but I think it's more context that makes things interesting. I just took this over the week on Study Theater. And, it's a nice fun place. You wouldn't think about it at the time. But, same old stuff, just really, really natural anomalies. And even things like this, like going over the evidence, and it's just, flashlights being pointed at the ground. And, so I don't know, I kind of feel, unfortunately, that I'm always constantly debunking and telling you what I say and I'm seeing things. And another good example of this is you see this hexagonal orb, which is actually also a lens flare, and the hexagon represents the shape of the aperture of the camera. And it's just kind of different parts inside the body that are reflecting off each other's surfaces. And, it's the more common if you're directly pointing at light, you can get the hexagon shape and the orb surrounding it. And also, what's interesting, you have pictures like this that pick up, colors. And this would seem kind of off the bat pretty interesting and abnormal. But because of, the way digital cameras work, and they're basically trying to mimic film, silver gelatin film, which is a big table with a little mini computer that's just going through algorithms and tables and everything, trying to mimic a real photograph. So here, it's a color photograph. They see this anomaly, and the machine kind of decides to take the color spectrum, or color out of the spectrum, and show this really neat green thing, but it's just a lens flare once again. Just another example of lens flare. And of course, right there, you got a green one. And another big one is always mist, like Lisa said. And just, so much variation or variables that can happen. And the reason they could be paranormal, so could orbs, but I think the problem is not that they never are, but they're just really unreliable. And no one could ever point to an orb and say, that's real, that's a fact, just because their track record of them is so horrible. The same thing I feel like with mist. And, because anything can cause this. Again, dust, breath, smelling, smoke, moisture in the air, even if it's too hot, you can also see these mist forming. And of course, you got a double whammy here.